I'd like to say for this very moment, my voice may sound a little hoarse because I'm having a sinus infection, kind of congested in my throat, congested in my sinuses. But I will say that this is just a moment I get on just to kind of update y'all as how things have been. It's been kind of a hectic summer for me. And I tell you, I kind of mentioned in a post a while back about, the shooting that took place a few weeks ago. And just kind of where that went as far as I was concerned and how I felt for a while. And, things have just gotten a little bit better. But I do want to also say that right now is just a moment when it's just kind of good for me to kind of keep a lot of platforms closed. I've got my Instagram closed. I've had my main Facebook profile closed a few days. Today, I just closed my business page. Now, all of this is temporary. I'll be back on the internet soon with all this stuff. Probably, hopefully, I'll have it back up again after Labor Day, if no sooner. We just don't know how things are going to go just yet. And that's what I'm trying to figure out is just how things are going to be because I do also want to mention this week I was supposed to go back to work. I was supposed to go back in today for kitchen setup and supposed to go tomorrow for an in-service meeting, and there's a lot of things I'm just kind of having to miss for the first few days just because I'm kind of sick and because I have those moments I get up in the morning and kind of cough a lot and kind of don't feel too good. So it's just kind of a time when, to begin with, I'd say with the way things were going the weekend and looking forward to it, I just kind of decided I didn't need to deal with the stress of some of these, social media posts and things I see, and some things I just didn't need to interact with, and which is kind of just a good thing. So I decided to kind of, like I say, close it down and mainly just to kind of get myself prepared for the end of this week when I'd be supposedly going back to work. But it just so happened it didn't turn out that way. And I tell you, I didn't make it there because I'm sick, and I'd say a couple days ago or yesterday or whenever I went to the doctor to get tested for COVID and flu. Luckily, I tested negative for both of those things and for strep as well. So this is just kind of just to give you all updates as to why there's just not going to be a lot of interaction going on right now. There's things which for YouTube I have already scheduled to start showing up in August. You'll see that I have a Substack profile as well. That is something for these last couple of days I've been starting to post on just to kind of tell people little stories about how things are going and how it is. And the fact that especially right now, while I'm kind of in this time of distress where this week just didn't end the way I looked forward to just because of how I kind of got a little sick. And so that's just kind of what I needed to say today. And there are times when, for this moment, I'm just like I put in the title, I'm having a moment of solitude. And I'm kind of needing that right now. I mean, I'm unable to get out of my house because it's like, if you don't go to work, they don't expect you to see you anywhere else because they think if you're too sick to go to work, they probably don't think you shouldn't be out anywhere else because they probably wouldn't expect you to be well enough if you can't be at work. So that's just kind of how it is, when you use a sick day like we do. That's just kind of, I'd say, like the way it goes. And just all these ways how we deal with the things we have, because I will say that as for the way that this whole summer is gone, it's just a time when I say it's hard to think my words right off, but the fact that it's just kind of where, like we say, I'm kind of confined to my house, kind of away from social media and all. There's just kind of some activity I need to avoid right now, but will say that I've probably been doing just a little bit more catching up on a little more crafting lately and been real busy about that and kind of in my own home trying to catch up what I can with what resources I have and things I have, things that I can just feel well enough to do, like, I mean, painting little things and that kind of work. So there's just no heavy tool operating right now. And there's probably a few crafts I need to work on, I need supplies for, but we'll have to wait until the weekend when I'm not sick anymore before I can go out and get the supplies. So that's going to be how it's going to be. I know I'm going to definitely go back on to work on Monday. My manager is going to fill me in on everything that they go through in the in service. And that's just a lot of things I'm going to find out as we go. So there's just a lot of things we say that we need to know that we're going to hear. And I tell you, for me, the way I get claustrophobic in crowds, the way I get antsy when I have to sit still for so long. Sometimes when you're just kind of sick, like I am right now, that can just kind of, make matters worse. And it's just kind of like I could probably even get a little sicker just kind of sitting there and getting anxious in crowds and antsy from sitting still. So it's just kind of a thing where I've talked with my manager, and I mean, I've been excused and all. So definitely will be back on Monday to be filled in. I also just want to mention that there's probably a few of you who might still be on this YouTube to see this live and to know what's going on if you catch it. Because I'll tell y'all that if you are subscribed and if you click a certain notification button, you can be notified anytime that I come on live. And there will be some things you'll hear and some things you'll see, some things I'll just be free to tell you all about. And that is just one of those things I kind of want to mention for now. It's not all that often that I go all that live, but I will say that there's been a few posts up that have been made just to kind of inform you all of how things are. And I will say my Substack profile is Jonathan Parks 77. So if you want to go on there, look that up and kind of see some stuff that I've just posted there lately just to kind of give little updates as to how these things go. I'd be happy for you to do so and happy for you to read, happy for you to subscribe if you do have a Substack. So hope to see you all sooner or later or in the future. And I'll be back on again as soon as things get much better. Thank you all so much.